Good morning, class 7. Today we will start another chapter, that is a gift of chappals. I am sure you must have done your work in the lesson, the 3 questions, and in the poem, The Squirrel. The new admissions also must have done their work by now. Now today we shall start another chapter, an easy chapter, a gift of chappals. You have studied this chapter earlier also in the month of April. I am sure you must be remembering what is the story about. Let me tell you in very brief, first of all, what is the story about, and then I will start the reading. This story is about those chappals which were gifted to a beggar. Mridu is a young girl who grows up in Madras with Tapi, her grandmother, and Tatha, her grandfather. One afternoon, Tapi takes her to her aunt Rukumani's house to meet her cousins Lali, Ravi, and Meena. Now, if you remember, Lali was the girl who used to learn violin, and the music teacher had come to teach violin to Lali. While Mridu, Ravi, and Meena, they were enjoying the nature, they were outside roaming around. Then there is a mention of the cat also in the story, which when I will start the reading, then we will read. But the main thing in the chapter is that one day a beggar came to their house, and the beggar wanted something, but the lady of the house said that the beggar should be asked to go away because they don't have anything to give him. The beggar wanted to rest there for a while because he had blisters on his feet, as he did not have a pair of chappals to protect his feet, and due to the scorching heat of the sun, his feet had become pink with blisters. What are blisters, children? Chhale. In Hindi we call chhale. Now the children who had seen this beggar and his blisters, they were feeling very sorry for him. They were feeling very pitiful for him, and they wanted to help the beggar by giving him a pair of chappals from anywhere they could arrange. They started finding out whether they had any extra pair of chappals or not. They saw their own pair of chappals and found out that their size was small and it would not fit the size of the feet of the beggar. Then suddenly they saw the chappals which were kept outside that room where Lali was learning violin from her music teacher. These pair of chappals belonged to the music teacher. Now the children decided that in order to help this beggar, they should give the pair of chappals which belonged to the music teacher, they should give them to the beggar, because he was very poor, he did not have money to buy a pair of chappals for himself. So in order to help, their intention was very good. They were kind-hearted children, and they wanted to give a pair of chappals to that beggar, and they did so. The only mistake they did was that the pair of chappals which they gave to the beggar were of that music teacher, and without taking the permission of the music teacher, they quietly gave those chappals to the beggar. The beggar became happy because he could now save his feet, protect his feet from the scorching heat of the sun. He wore those chappals and he went away. Now when the music teacher finished his class and came out of the room, he was surprised to see that his chappals were not there. He asked Lali if she had seen those chappals. She also said that she had not seen. Then Lali's mother was called. She was told the whole incident, that the pair of chappals were kept here, now they are not there. She became very angry. Then she looked at the children. The children's name were Mridu, Ravi and Meena. She looked at them and asked if they had hidden the pair of chappals somewhere. They stood there quietly because they did not want to tell that they had given those chappals to the beggar. But later on, they admitted their fault. They told that they had given them to the beggar because he was very poor, he did not have money, and his feet had blisters. At this, Rukumani became very angry. She said that the children are very mischievous, they can do everything which they should not do. Then she decided that she is going to give the pair of chappals which Gopu Mama used to wear in the evening when he came from work. When he returned home, he used to wear a pair of chappals. Those pair of chappals were finally given to the music teacher. Now, before these pair of chappals were given to him, the chappals of Gopu Mama were given to him, the music teacher pretended that the pair of chappals which were lost, actually which were given to the beggar, were very dear to him, and he had purchased them only a few days back, and he had gone to a far off place to purchase them. Actually, these were not a new pair of chappals, but he was pretending. And when he got the new pair of chappals, which were hardly worn by Gopu Mama, they were almost new. When the music teacher got those pair of chappals from Rukumani, he actually became very happy, but he did not show his happiness. He hid his happiness because he was pretending that he was very unhappy, he was very upset that his pair of chappals had been given to the beggar. But in reality, he was not unhappy. He was very happy that Gopu Mama's new pair of chappals were given to him, and his old pair of chappals were given to the beggar. So in the end, the story ends with this note that the music teacher, after getting a new pair of chappals from Rukumani, went away from that house, left that place very quickly so that nobody should ask him to return those pair of chappals back. Okay, now I am starting with the reading. I will explain wherever it is required. I will tell you the word meanings also, and then we will finish the chapter and do the question answers. Maybe today, if we don't get time, then we shall do in our next class. Before you read, Mridu is a young girl growing up in Madras, now called Chennai, with Tapi, her grandmother, and Tatha, her grandfather. One afternoon, Tapi takes her to her aunt Rukumani's house to meet her cousins Lali, Ravi, and Meena. Now the story begins. A gift of chappals. A smiling Rukumani threw open the door. That means she opened the door very happily. Ravi and Meena rushed out, and Ravi pulled Mridu into the house. Wait, let me take off my slippers, protested Mridu. As she wanted to enter, she said that let me remove my slippers. She set them out neatly near a pair of large black ones. So, where did Mridu keep her slippers? She kept them just next to those pair of slippers which were already there. These were large black slippers. Whose slippers are these? These large black slippers are of the music teacher who has come to teach violin to Lali. Those were grey, actually with dust. You could see the clear mark of every toe on the front part of each slipper. The marks for the two big toes were long and scrawny. Scrawny meaning is given there, thin. So the slippers showed very clearly that those were old slippers. They were filled with dust, and the mark of two big toes could be clearly seen on the slippers. Mridu didn't have much time to wonder about whose slippers they were because Ravi dragged her to the backyard behind a thick bitter berry bush. There, inside a torn football lined with sacking and filled with sand, lay a very small kitten, lapping up milk. That means the kitten was drinking milk, making sounds. Lapping up milk from a coconut half shell. We found him outside the gate this morning. He was mewing and mewing. Poor thing, said Meena. It's a secret. Amma says Pati will leave for our Padu Mama's house if she knows we have a cat. That means the children had not told everybody in the house that they had kept a cat in the house. It was a secret because Amma, the mother, says that Pati, that means the grandmother, will go to Padu Mama's house if she knows that there is a cat in the house. People are always telling us to be kind to animals, but when we are, they scream. Oh, don't bring that dirty creature here, said Ravi. So Ravi is saying that people tell us that we should be kind to animals, but when we are kind, they shout at us. Do you know how hard it is to get a little milk from the kitchen? So, in order to feed the cat, in order to bring some milk for the cat was not an easy task because everybody was against keeping animals at home, although they said that we should be kind to animals, but they were angry at the same time. Do you know how hard it is to get a little milk from the kitchen? Pati saw me with a glass in my hand just now. I told her I am very hungry. I told her I am very hungry. It was a lie. It was a lie told to Pati. Actually, this milk was being taken for the kitten. Pati saw me with a glass in my hand just now. I told her I am very hungry. I want to drink it. But the way she looked at me, I had to drink most of it to throw her off the scent. To throw her off the scent, meaning is given here, children, mislead her so that she won't understand the real purpose. So in order to make Pati believe that actually the milk was for him only, he had to drink a lot of milk from that glass. Then she wanted the tumbler back. Pati, Pati, I'll wash it myself. Why should I put you to trouble? I told her. So all this was to hide the fact that the milk was actually being taken for the kitten. I had to run and pour the milk into this coconut shell and then run back and wash the tumbler and put it back before she got really suspicious. Now we have to think of some other way to feed Mahendran. Mahendran was the name which the children had given to this kitten. Mahendran, this little kitty's name is Mahendran. Mridu was impressed. It was a real name. Real name means it looked like the name of some human being. It was a real name, not just a cute kitty cat name. Like generally we keep pet names the way they are kept. Like we keep any kind of name. We can call a pet cat as Kitty only. We can give that pet name as Kitty. But such kind of names were not given to this kitten, but a real name was given and he was called Mahendran. Actually his full name is Mahendra Varma Pallava Punai. MP Punai for short if you like. He is a fine breed of cat. Just look at his fur, like a lion's mane. That means it looks like a lion's fur. And you know what the emblem of the ancient Pallava king was? Don't you? He looked expectantly at Mridu. Mridu giggled. Mridu is laughing at this. Think I am joking? Well, just wait. I'll show you sometime. It's clear you don't know a thing about history. Haven't been to Mahabalipuram. have you? He said mysteriously. I saw a statue of his tathas, then tathas, then tathas, 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 etc., etc. Tathas is grandfather. Fact is, Mahendran here is descended from that very same ancient cat, a close relative. Scientifically speaking, of none other than the lion. The Pallava lion, emblem of the Pallava dynasty. That means Ravi is trying to tell Mridu that this kitten has been given the name as Mahendra Varma Pallava Punai because this kitten is the descendant of the Pallava lion, which was the emblem of the Pallava dynasty. Ravi went around the bitter berry bush, waving a twig up and down, his eyes sparkling. This cat is a descendant of none other than the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. And if I may just remind you, they worshipped cats in ancient Egypt. So Ravi is giving all this historical background to justify why such a long and typical name has been given to this kitten. How he loved the sound of his own voice. Meena and Mridu exchanged looks. That means they looked at each other. What does that have to do with anything? Mridu demanded. I am telling you, this cat is descended. That means it belongs to the Pallava dynasty. From the Egyptian cat god, no goddess. Bastet. Yeah, that's it. That means he is saying, I bet that this cat belongs to Egyptian cat god. So, well, one of the descendants of that cat goddess was a stowaway in one of the Pallava ships. See the meaning of stowaway. Someone who hides himself in a ship or in aircraft to travel unnoticed. Well, one of the descendants of that cat goddess was a stowaway in one of the Pallava ships, and his descendant was the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat, whose descendant is, and he is going on speaking. Ravi flourished his twig at Mahendran. MP Punai, here. Woo, ek. He shrieked, he shouted, very pleased with himself. So till now, Ravi is constantly giving evidences to show, to prove that the cat belongs to the Pallava dynasty, the cat belongs to the ancient cat god, and that is why the cat has been given this typical name. Mahendran looked up, alarmed. He had just been sharpening his claws on the edge of the coconut shell. But worse than Ravi's awful whoop ek was a screech from the window. What a weird sound. Weird means strange. What a weird sound. If Mridu was startled means surprised. If Mridu was startled, MP Punai was frightened out of his wits. Hair standing on end, he bounced up and scurried towards a bamboo tray of red chilies. Scurried means ran quickly. I am reading this part once again. If Mridu was startled, MP Punai was frightened out of his wits. Hair standing on end, he bounced up, that means he jumped up and scurried, ran quickly towards a bamboo tray of red chilies that had been set out to dry. So, as soon as this cat got up, because he was frightened, he jumped on that tray where red chilies had been put in the sun to dry. Trying to hide beneath it, he tipped a few chilies over himself. Meow, he howled miserably. The screeching went on and on. What's that noise? Said Mridu. That's Lali learning to play the violin. So this screeching sound, this typical irritating sound was what sound? This was the sound of the violin which Lali was playing. That's Lali learning to play the violin, grunted Ravi. She'll never learn a thing. The music master just goes on playing like a train whizzing on and on, while Lali is all the time derailing. That means music teacher is playing the violin so beautifully as if it appears that a train is running smoothly on its track, whereas Lali is playing the violin so badly that it seems that the train has derailed, going completely off track. Mridu crept up to the window. Lali was sitting a little distance away. As you can see on the next page, children, there is a picture. You can see the children are peeping from the window. The music teacher is teaching violin and Lali is sitting in front. Mridu crept up to the window. Lali was sitting a little distance away, awkwardly holding her violin and bowstring. Bowstring, that means she was holding the strings in such a way that her elbows jutting out, the elbows were coming out, and her eyes glazed with concentration. In front of her, with most of his back to the window, was the bony figure of the music master. Now children, from here you should mark, because there is a question where you have to describe the music teacher. In front of her, with most of his back to the window, was the bony figure. You can underline from the bony figure of the music master. He had a mostly bald head. That means bony figure shows that the music master was a very thin person. He was not fat. He was thin and he had very little hair on his head. He was bald. Bald means he had very little hair on his head, as you can see the picture. He had a mostly bald head with a fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears and an old-fashioned tuft. Fringe means a part of his hair, although most of his head was bald. There were no hair at all, but on the sides, as you can see in the picture, there was a part of his hair which was oiled and it was falling around his ears and an old-fashioned tuft. At the back, you can see he has tied his hair slightly. That is known as tuft. A gold chain gleamed around his leathery neck and a diamond ring glittered on his hand as it glided up and down the stem of the violin. A large foot stuck out from beneath his gold-bordered veshti edge. Veshti means dhoti. As you can see, he is wearing a dhoti and the dhoti had a gold border. And he was beating time on the floor with the scrawny big toe. He was beating time on the floor. That means he was keeping a track of the music that he was playing. And with a scrawny big toe, with his thin toe, he was beating time. That means he was trying to keep a track that the music was played in proper rhythm. He played a few notes. Lali stumbled behind him on her violin, which looked quite helpless and unhappy in her hands. That means Lali was playing badly. She was not able to play the violin well. What a difference. Now here you can mark the lines which are going to start now, because this is again going to help you in the questions, one of the questions. The music master's notes seem to float up and settle perfectly. Underline all this. These lines show that the music master was playing the violin beautifully. The music master's notes seem to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of the melody. It was like the wheels of a train fitting smoothly into the rails and whizzing along, as Ravi said. Mridu stared at that huge, beringed hand. Beringed means the music teacher is wearing a ring. Oh, sorry, we should not pronounce it as beringed. It is beringed. It is made from the word ring. Okay, ring means anguthi. Beringed. The music teacher is wearing a ring. I am reading this line once more. Mridu stared at that huge beringed hand, moving effortlessly up the violin's stem, making lovely music. So in this whole paragraph, it is being described that the music teacher was playing the violin very well, as if the train was moving on its wheels perfectly on the right track, and the ring of the music teacher was attracting Mridu's attention. Squawk! There was Lali derailing again. Again she was playing the violin badly. Amma! Came a wail from the edge. Amma! Oh! So it was noticed that somebody was calling Amma from the edge, from the gate of the house. Amma! Came a wail from the gate. That means somebody was calling Amma from the gate. Ravi! Send that beggar away, cried his mother from the back veranda, where she was chatting with Tapi. So, who is that man who is calling Amma? He is the beggar. He had been coming here every day for the past week, and it's time he found another house to beg from. Pati explained to Tapi. So Pati is saying that this beggar has been coming to our house every day for the past 1 week, and now the time has come when he should go to some other house to beg for something. Mridu and Meena followed Ravi out. Mridu and Meena followed Ravi out. That means Ravi has gone to tell the beggar that he should go away to some other house. The beggar was already in the garden, making himself quite at home. That means he was feeling as if it is his own house, and he was feeling comfortable in the garden. He had spread his upper clothes under the neem tree and was leaning against its trunk, apparently prepared to take a little snooze. That means he was now trying to sleep for some time. Snooze means sleep. He was trying to sleep in the garden for some time, and he had already become very comfortable there. While he waited for the alms to appear. Alms means anything which could be given to him as charity. It could be some food, it could be some money, anything. Go away, said Ravi sternly. My Pati says it's time you found another house to beg from. So Ravi, as being instructed, is sternly telling the beggar that you go away. Pati is saying that you should find another house to beg for. The beggar opened his eyes very wide and gazed at each of the children one by one. The ladies of this house, he said at last, in a voice choked with feeling, are very kind souls. That means the beggar, after listening to Ravi, says that the ladies of this house are very kind. They have been helping me every time. I have kept my body and soul together on their generosity for a whole week. See, the meaning is given here, kept my body and soul together, managed to stay alive. So the beggar is saying that due to the kindness of the ladies who live in this house, I have been able to stay alive for past 1 week. They have given me so much that I could stay alive for a week. I cannot believe that they would turn me away. He is not able to believe that now today the ladies are saying you go away. He raised his voice. Amma, Amma, oh. Sad his wail might be. Sad his wail might be. That means his tone of saying, his tone of speaking, Amma, Amma, was filled with sadness. But it certainly wasn't feeble. His tone was sad, but it was not weak. Feeble means weak. It began in a deep, strong rumble. Rumble means heavy sound. It began in a deep, strong rumble somewhere in his withered belly. That means a strong, heavy sound was coming as if from his stomach. He was calling so boldly, Amma, Amma, and came booming out of his mouth with its few remaining teeth stained brown with betel chewing. Betel means supari. He had been chewing betel and his teeth had become brown, which was an evidence that he used to chew betel. Ravi, tell him there is nothing left in the kitchen, called Rukumani. Rukumani saw that the beggar was constantly calling Amma, Amma, and she said that Ravi, you go and tell the beggar that there is nothing left in the kitchen. She sounded fed up. She was fed up of that beggar coming every day. Come again, tell him that. Sorry, I have left something. I am reading this again. Ravi, tell him there is nothing left in the kitchen, called Rukumani, and he is not to come again. Tell him that. He was told by Rukumani that he should not come again. She sounded fed up. Ravi didn't have to repeat it all to the beggar, while his mother said had been easy for them all to hear there under the neem tree. The beggar sat up and sighed. So whatever Rukumani was saying, everything was very clearly heard outside, and the beggar had also heard everything, and he was sitting there and thinking deeply. He sighed. He continued to think deeply why they are behaving, why the ladies are behaving in that manner. Today, every day they used to give something or the other. I'll go, he said wearily. Wearily means in a tired tone. He was very tired of walking, and he said, I will go. Only let me have a rest here under this tree. He wanted to rest because he was tired of walking. The sun is so hot. The tar has melted on the road. What is tar, children, if you know? Tar is the charcoal which is used to make roads, black color. That is why the roads on which we walk, they look black in color because of that tar. So the beggar is saying that the sun is so hot that even the tar has melted. My feet are already blistered. Blistered means chhale. The sun was so hot that there were blisters on the feet of this beggar. That is why he wanted to rest there for a while before he left. He stretched out his feet to show large pink peeling blisters on the soles of his bare feet. So the children saw that the feet of this beggar were full of pink large